Well, I'm thinking right now that possibly we don't need to do a second coat. Yeah, I'm not seeing the plastic of the hull showing through anywhere. Now, mind you, I've only looked at this one side, and I'm assuming the other side is going to be as good. Uh, okay, this was the side where I had a problem, and I had to wipe it off. Okay, and this is the plating that it's going to go on, and I am noticing. Okay, right here, yeah, that should be repainted. Okay, maybe I will give it a second coat. Yeah, this side here is not as good. Okay. Well, I felt optimistic there for a minute. All right. Now, we had wanted to do a swatch of the XF-22, and I think we just put it right here. And then we can let it dry, and we'll see what it looks like, at the end of today's episode. Okay, we are thoroughly shaken here. And I think it's probably a good idea that I did, because the top of that looks kind of dusty, unless it's supposed to look like that. Anyway, yeah, that does look different. I can tell already it's different. It reminds me a lot of the hey, film gray. Does it say film gray? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Isn't that what we put on our Bismarck? I'm going to check that out. I think that's the one we put on our Bismarck. Okay. You know what? I don't think that says film. I think it says something else. I better put on my other glasses. Okay, we'll let that dry and see what it looks like. It sure does look like what we used on the Bismarck. I find that the caps on a lot of these Tamiya jars, they aren't, they're pretty close to what the color is, but not perfect. So if I put the color on, paint the top of the cap, then it's going to be exactly what's in there. Now, when you look at this close, you can see that doesn't say film, it says RLM. Well, at a distance, it looked like film to me, and I always thought that was film gray that we put on the Bismarck. Anyway, we've got another half a jar of it, so now we've got 3.5 jars. I know some of you are thinking, here we go again. It sounds like Ron's beaten something to death. Well, I guess in a way I am. It's just that I am astounded that for over a year I was calling that film gray. F-I-L-M. Well, it's not, obviously. I think what happened is, the very first time I read it, the light was reflecting on the R in such a way that it made it look like an F-I. Okay, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it, and I won't say film again. One of the viewers has sent us a picture of the hood that he's building, and he was mentioning how he just did a 6mm line here, and I thought at first, okay, that looks pretty good, and then I was looking at it and I thought, hey, wait a minute, that's not the same model. Maybe that's the 350 scale. And I thought, no, it looks pretty much exactly like the way the way mine is, and I thought, well, how could this be here? And then I realized what had happened is he is obviously detailing his kit, and there is extra stuff along here, like on the degaussing line or whatever they call that. Mine just has one single thing, and he's got a whole bunch of extra stuff on there, and it looks like he's done a little bit of weathering as well. So yes, I believe it is the 200 scale, but he's detailing it a lot better than I am. You'll notice here he's got the wooden decking. That actually looks pretty good. But I am not going to go with the wooden decking. I'm going to be painting the deck. But anyway, about the line, he did a 6mm here, and I think that looks all right. I think I'm going to go with that because it's going to be a lot easier to put down a 6mm length of masking tape than it will be to do a 12 or a double 6. Thanks for sending that photo, friend. Now, when I go to the grocery store, if I'm going to have to get more than one thing, I need a list, otherwise I'll forget what the second thing was. Well, it seems that way anyway. Well, it's not that bad, but almost. Anyway, so I've got to put stuff out to remind me what I want to talk about if I'm going to have two things in a conversation going on. Anyway, I got another message from a viewer this morning, and he was saying, what color are you going to be painting your deck? And by the way, he's also doing this very same model, and he's about at the same place we're at. He was working on these things today, and if you remember, we mixed these two things up when we were doing the Bismarck, and concluded that this was the nicest. And this is the stuff that we actually have on the Bismarck's deck. It's pretty nice, but it's a combination of stuff I can't even remember. It might be a combination of this stuff, which, by the way, is one of the colors the Trumpeter recommends for this deck. They haven't listed either of the Tamiya deck tans. Now this here, I don't know why I mixed it up. It's kind of orangey. I don't know. I think we mixed it up because somebody suggested that it had to be kind of an orange deck, and anyway, we didn't like it, so we ended up with this, and that's exactly the paint we used on the Bismarck. This is what is recommended by Trumpeter, which is similar to this, if you notice, for the deck on the hood, but it's just too orangey to me. It just doesn't look like wood. Maybe wet wood. I don't know. Mind you, I imagine that the deck on the hood when it was traveling through the ocean, most of it was wet all the time anyway. Well, maybe not. Anyway, so about this, I usually get my flavored coffees from Amazon, and I'm down to only 3 left. And I thought, well, why don't I just check and see how much the Tamiya paint is on Amazon? Well, it's a lot more expensive than it is here in the hobby store. I may as well, drive over to the hobby store and get it. And it's kind of irks me because I was just there yesterday, and I forgot to get the deck tan, and we were definitely going to be needing it in a few days here. Yeah, I'm sort of rambling on, aren't I? Anyway, I will not be buying my Tamiya paint from Amazon. So, yeah. I was on the hobby store's website, and yes, they do have a couple of deck tans in stock. They have the number 55 and the number 78. Now, I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards the 78. It's a little less gray. It's a little bit more, you might say more life to it. A little bit more orangey, like what Trumpeter has recommended, and yet it's not what you would call orange. I think I'm going to go with the 78. I haven't ordered it yet. What do you think, 55 or 78? In the comments below, please. I value your opinions. Okay, I have given the bad side a second coat. Now, there's no use doing the good side because all I'm going to do is just make the paint thicker. I'm not going to make it any better. But this was the strip in question, and I've gone completely down this full side here. It looks pretty good now to me. and we're going to let that dry really good, and then I think we're probably going to use the 6mm. Anyway, that's going to have to be tomorrow. However, let's take a look here and see how does our 22 compare to the others. I'll just move the camera around, and yeah, and in the meantime, yeah, thanks for watching. All being well, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and just one more thing here. Which one do you think is going to look the best on our Hood's deck? 55 or 78? Now we'll see you tomorrow.